Hello and welcome to everybody who is already in this room right now. We are about to start this webinar in a few minutes, seconds. We're just waiting for the other people to come in and join us. So while we are waiting on the other guys, just type in from where you are participating and maybe for how long you already know your twin flame. And we are about to get started in a few seconds. Just waiting for the other guys to come in. Please type in if you can hear me quite good, where you're from, and since when you know your own twin flame. And I'm really thrilled for this webinar. It's going to be awesome. This webinar is fully booked, no more spots left. And yes, we're about to start. So please type in if you can hear me and see me and where you're from, and then we're about to get started. Yeah, so please type in the chat where you're from and for how long you know your own twin flame. Michelle's from Chicago. Okay, hello and welcome. We're just waiting a few more seconds for the other ones to come in, and then we will start this webinar. And then there's somebody from India taking part. I'm happy that we are global today. I'm sending from Germany in Europe, and this is Ranjani taking part, and Kyle from Vancouver, Canada. Okay. Ranjani writes, she knows her twin flame for 2 years and he's from Turkey. Okay. Great. So just a few more seconds. We are about to get really down to business in a few seconds. Just waiting for the other ones. And then we're off to go. Jessica is from Canada. Andre from Brazil. Okay, great. Good. So we are starting right now. Welcome to this special webinar today. Today I'm talking about the 4 golden keys on your twin flame journey. And my name is Julian, and I'm holding this webinar today because basically everything started with my own journey 4 years ago. I had this special meeting with my own twin flame, and everybody that's watching right now knows what I'm talking about. It's a very, very special meeting, and I was totally in love from the first second, and it was like I was on cloud number 9. And after a while, I dated this person, and she suddenly ran away from this deep love, and I was totally shocked. I never felt a pain quite like this in my life at that time, and I was totally down on the one hand, and on the other hand, I was totally fascinated. I was fascinated that one person could change my life forever, and nothing was going to be the same. And I started to read books about this soulmate topic, twin flame topic, and I really was getting into it. And the books I read were quite good because they showed like a path they told me that the twin flame is also a mirror to yourself, and you need to develop yourself in order to make this relationship work. And that's when I really got into it and was motivated to develop into the best version of myself. And I was working on myself, and after a while I figured out that I really had a passion for this topic in general, and I started a website on twin flames. First I started a German website on twin flames, then an English website on twin flames, and now 3 years later I did over 1,000 sessions with twin flames. I did over 20 seminars in Germany on twin flames, and like 60 plus webinars on twin flames. So I'm really passionate, as you see, about this topic, and that's the reason I'm holding this webinar today. And today is the first time I'm talking about the 4 golden keys on the twin flame path in a webinar, because all my work from the last 3 years, I figured out there are certain patterns, certain tasks that just need to be mastered in order to make this thing work. And after a while, I figured out these 4 keys, and I worked on those with my clients for the last months, and the results were really spectacular. So I'm really thrilled to show you the 4 keys today. And before we start, I'm making a little poll with you today. The first question I'm asking you is if you believe that twin flames can actually end up in a harmonious relationship on Earth. Please type in yes or no, and I will make this public in a few seconds. That's my first question. Just a few more seconds. Okay, good. Well, everybody's quite positive and typed in yes, so 100% yes. I'm also a believer that twin flame relationships can actually work, but it's a relationship on a really high level because, as you already figured, this relationship is really explosive. So everything that's kind of like a shadow part of yourself, your ego, is mirrored to you by your twin flame in a really, really fast time. And when you are not in peace with yourself and transform your own old wounds and patterns, it just cannot work out for long. So you need to be like really advanced in your life as a soul, as a human being, in order to make this work. Okay, good. And the second question is, I want to know how you feel on your twin flame path. We are living in a relationship, we are separated and I suffer a lot. We are separated and I'm feeling better and better. Please type in your answer and I will make it public in a few seconds. Okay, surprising answers. I guess not too much of you live in a relationship right now, because otherwise you won't do this webinar tonight. So I'm curious about the answers. Okay, good. So you probably see it right now on your screen, but I will read it out loud too. So 80% of you are separated and suffer a lot, and 20% are feeling better and better. For those 80%, I totally can understand you, because when you meet your twin flame, as I answer it, I will start my presentation. Just a second. you probably see the screen right now. So when we talk about twin flames in general, we have to talk about where we come from as a soul. And we all come from the oneness, from the full consciousness as a soul, and we incarnate as a human being to our world, the earth. And we make the experience of separation. We are born into the separation. We are experiencing things in our childhood that hurt us. So we have to separate us from our true self. And this is when the ego is created. And the ego is the part of ourself which is founded and developed of our wounds that we don't think we can handle. And our ego, the task of our ego is always to secure us from these wounds and patterns that seem too painful for us to feel. And our ego is basically our false self. And the big task for our soul is that we live life after life after life, incarnation after incarnation, to basically found our true self as a human being on earth again, return to oneness again. And that's basically called like enlightenment. So that's basically our whole journey as a soul with all these incarnations. And when we are quite advanced as a soul, life has a special surprise for us. The special surprise is that we meet ourselves, our own soul, in another human being, and that's called twin flame. And if you remind yourself of what I just said, that like the end goal is to return to that oneness in all of our incarnations, I think it becomes very clear why this meeting of your twin flame is so spectacular, and you cannot forget your twin flame after that anymore. And this explains why, because the end goal of your whole journey as a soul is basically to find yourself again. And now you see yourself in the other person. And that's why the attraction is so strong. People that live in a happy marriage, that are very down-to-earth persons, very caretaking of their family, they just cannot say no to their twin flame because the attraction is so strong. And the most important thing to know is that from that point on, you are not supposed to be like dependent of your twin flame to feel as one, feel this oneness. The big task is to collect all those things, all those missing parts of yourself that you see in your twin flame, in order to become one in yourself first. And that's the big crucial part. Not everyone wants to see that, and not everyone is willing to walk this journey, because it's quite painful and not that easy to master. But in my opinion, it's the only way that you break the devil's circle and make this relationship work, because otherwise your twin flame will always, in 5 years, in 10 years down the line, he will always mirror you, your missing parts, your shadow parts, in an instant. So that's the only way you can make this work, is to transform, to heal, to collect everything that is mirrored to you by your twin. So that's basically what I show you right here. And like I said in the beginning, what I figured out in the 3 years that I worked with like thousands of clients in my sessions is that there are 4 golden keys on the twin flame path that you need to master if you are the chaser. You probably heard of the chaser and runner phenomenon on twin flames, and many are not a big fan of this theory, but I can say to you, in my experience over time and working with all those clients, there is a certain pattern of chasing and running. And so the typical scenario is that one of the twin flames suddenly becomes like fearful of all these huge feelings that he cannot control. Most of the time it's the male part, and he just basically runs away, tries to make himself free from this love, runs into other relationship, runs into partying or working 24/7 or something like that. And the other part is like left behind in deep, deep pain, and that's the chaser. And if you are watching this webinar, you are to 90% a chaser, because the runners don't watch those webinars at all. So I'm talking to you as a chaser today. And the big task as a chaser, before I talk, it's just the first crucial decision you need to make in general is, if you take on the task, the huge challenge of seeing your twin flame as a mirror and implement the twin flame keys, or you are not ready and live an illusion. And I hope with this webinar I can motivate you to walk this walk, because it's like at the end of it you will feel like never before. You will feel like you found your true self again, and the love for your twin flame will feel more and more free, and you are not dependent on a possible relationship anymore. It still will be a wish of yours, but you will be able to return into the now, the ever present now, and be happy and fulfilled. That's like a guarantee. And now I'm explaining to you the 4 golden keys to master your twin flame journey. And like I said, I'm talking to you as a chaser today. The chaser really starts at the bottom of the bottom, because the chaser is left behind by their twin flame. And what then happens is soul wounds of theirs immediately show up. And that's also the first golden key on the twin flame journey, is to transform the soul wounds that come up. In a minute I will explain that deeper. And the second golden key on the twin flame journey is visions and goals. The third key is abundance, and the fourth key is the yin and yang balance. I will explain that to you, right, key by key. And like I said, the first huge key is transforming the wounds of your soul, because the chaser starts at the bottom and is literally trapped in his emotions. He loses tons of energy because of the covering of the wounds. And at the bottom you can see where the chaser is at the start. He's permanently trapped in the female energy, because he has all this pain of being left behind, being abandoned, and these are old soul wounds of the chaser, and he is confronted with them. But we as human beings, we are trained to suppress our wounds, and this suppressing thing is causing all those losses of energy. And many twin flame chasers at the start report that they basically don't even have the energy to live their daily lives anymore, and they can't function in their jobs anymore. It's really horrible for them. And the reason is that these soul wounds come up. and that's the first huge key on the twin flame path to overcome those soul wounds. And for those who don't know about soul wounds, there are 5 wounds of the soul a human being can have, 5 different souls. This theory is by Lise Bourbeau. She's a French psychologist. Very famous theory, very famous books she wrote. And I figured out that there are typical wounds that the chaser on the twin flame journey has, and there are typical wounds that the runner on the twin flame path has. And the first 2 wounds you see right here are typical for the chaser. And the first wound is the wound of rejection. And to every soul wound, there is a mask we basically wear in order to hide those masks. And the mask is basically our ego trying to secure us from pain. So if a human being has the wound of rejection, he or she wears the mask of escape. It's kind of logical, because if you are in danger of getting rejected, you always try to escape the situation, either by actually escaping and running from a situation you could be rejected, or many of those people also escape to their like inner dream world. You always have the feeling that they're not quite there when you talk to them, and that's because of the wound of rejection. And then there's the wound of abandonment. That's a wound basically like 80 or 90% of the chasers have, and the mask is the mask of dependence. And that's also basically self-explaining. If I have a fear of being left behind, being abandoned, I will not say no to another person too many times, because if you show boundaries and say no, there's a real danger of basically being abandoned. So that's the mask of dependence. And both of these masks, both of these wounds, if you have those wounds, you are most likely to live in your female energy a lot more than your male energy. Because if you have the fear of being rejected, you are not proud of yourself. You will not show your true self, who you are, who you stand for, and you need the male energy to know who you are, who you stand for. And if you don't have that, you are basically trapped in your emotions, and you cannot show boundaries to anyone else. And also the wound of abandonment is the same thing. You cannot say no to another person. You cannot follow your own life if you have this wound, because there's always a fear of being abandoned, and you cannot show boundaries, which is also a part of the male energy. So these 2 wounds are really triggered a lot when your twin flame runs away and basically ends the relationship. And on a higher level, the mirror of your twin flame is, hey, I want to see who you truly are. And he is hurting you in the most painful way. But on a higher level, he's making you like a gift to discover your wounds and transform them. And on the other hand, the runner has different soul wounds most of the time. A typical wound, you will laugh when you hear this, because you will see your twin flame in this probably, is the wound of betrayal and the mask of control. People with this wound maybe were betrayed were betrayed by their first big love, were cheated on, and if this happens, it's too painful for a human being, and the ego is created with the mask of control. So basically, the the whole female emotional world is basically shut down, and these people only function in their male energy, in their brain, and they have no access to their emotional world anymore. And when the runner with this wound is meeting you, and he is very, very fast feeling a danger of this wound coming up, and he's feeling a danger of losing actually control of his emotions, and that's why he's building up this wall of control. And many of you wonder, why is he behaving like that? He told me that he loves me, and now he's running. That doesn't make sense at all. But it actually does make sense, because his wound of betrayal is immediately coming up, and he has a lot of fear of it, and he's basically not interested in feeling this wound, so he runs. And that's like the devil's circle of twin flames, with these woundings and mirroring. And you can only break this devil's circle if you start healing your own wounds. You as the chaser are the one who has to start, because the runner can only follow up your development. And people with the wound of betrayal do not tend to reflect, because they're just not like that. They always tend to see themselves as perfect. There's nothing wrong with me, and they are basically healed in a passive way. They down the road, they just lose all their energy to fight against their feelings. That's how they are basically healed, but they are not into reflection too much. You know what I mean? So you have to start to heal your own wounds, and after that, you will be able to stand up for yourself. You will be able to set boundaries, and then the runner is confronted with a decision he has to make, and the decision is either he learns to let his feelings in and to let you in his heart, or he is in danger of losing you forever. And that's what he feels actually when you heal those wounds, because if you don't, then he always will feel, because twin flames have an enormous connection, as you know. He will always feel that he is actually still in control, you know, and then he won't heal his wound. Okay, so that's basically an overview of these 5 soul wounds and why it is so important that you overcome them. So this is the first major golden key on your twin flame journey, and if you overcame, you need to focus on the second key. And with the second key, you go more and more from the female to the male energy. And as the graphic shows right here, the chaser starts at the bottom with the female energy. When he overcomes the wounds of the soul, he climbs up the ladder a little bit towards the male energy. It's basically on a neutral level then. And this is the point where many, unfortunately, stop with their progress. It's very sad to see, but many stop there, and because they feel a little better, they don't have these major fears anymore, and they feel quite okay, but their twin flame path is not done yet. And now it's about that you dive even more into the male energy. You need to climb the ladder all the way up. And I figured out in my work that the best thing you can climb up this ladder is through visions and goals that you set. Because if you have a vision from your heart and soul, and you have some goals to follow to basically follow those steps towards your vision, you are going forward in life, and you need to really focus on a down-to-earth level with your brain, with your thoughts. How can I achieve my vision and my goals? And it's a very healthy way to train your male energy and to live out your purpose. The universe is not going to allow twin flames to come back together if you're not found your purpose yet, because the danger is too big that you going to forget everything around you and only want to be with your twin flame and only want to live out the love and don't care about anything else. The danger, as you know, is very big, and the right thing is the balance between the love and the male energy. And if you have a purpose in life that you care about, you will never leave it behind for too long, and you will be able to live out the love with your twin flame for maybe half a day, and another half of the day you want to follow your purpose, and that's healthy. And that's why it's really important that you find a purpose, a vision, and follow your goals. And what then happens is you climb up the ladder towards the male energy even more. And I have another graphic that explains the typical patterns of the chaser. Everybody has a comfort zone. Every human being has a comfort zone, and our comfort zone is basically our daily life on autopilot. That's the things we can do without thinking a lot. Maybe you remember when you made your driver's license, you had to think about every move, but then after a few months, it was automatic, and your comfort zone towards driving a car grew and grew and grew until it was like perfect. And every time we want to solve, or we need to solve a problem, or we want to reach a goal, we have to break out of our comfort zone to achieve the goal or to solve a problem. And with chasers, traditionally, their comfort zone in life is too small. They tend to have really big talents, huge gifts, but they just are afraid. They just are afraid of showing what they truly can be, believing in themselves, setting high goals, making a career out of their talents, and so on. That's a huge problem for a chaser, and the comfort zone of the chaser is really small. And that's why it's important that you grow your comfort zone. And with every solved problem or reach goal, your comfort zone and your personality itself grows. And that's why it's so important that you have a vision and goals in your life and follow them. And that's basically the second golden key on your twin flame journey. And the reason why people don't achieve their goals is that they just set the goals, but they don't reflect the fears, the patterns, the beliefs that automatically come up when you set a goal. You're automatically confronted with past beliefs of your childhood and so on. And you need to transform them first before you actually can follow a goal and achieve it. And that's a huge part of my work I do with my clients and my meditations. I will tell you about it later, but it's important that you always reflect on the patterns and fears that show up when you set a goal. Good. So now we're coming towards the third key on your twin flame journey. And I can tell you right now, the third key is a topic like 90+% of the chasers on the twin flame journey have a major problem with. And Yeah, that's another thing. The third golden key is like abundance in your life. And um, like I already told you, you start at the bottom with overcoming your wounds. Then you climb the ladder up with your visions and goals. Then you feel better and better in life. You feel a certain lightness, a certain sense. You feel a little more like independent. You don't need your twin flame desperately anymore to feel fulfilled. And now we are still not at the top of the ladder towards the male energy. And here comes abundance into play. Abundance meaning um, abundance in our world basically is also like money. It's money is not the only thing in abundance, but a huge part, because we are living in a world where money is um, important. And if you ever have like been in a situation where you didn't know how to pay your own rent at the end of the month, you know how hard it is to feel like light and happy if you have this problem every month. So abundance is a huge key to lightness and to freedom. And only if you have mastered abundance, you can climb the ladder up towards the male energy and you reach the top. And what I figure out in my work with my clients is that almost every human being in our generation has like old beliefs, patterns about abundance, that they deep inside don't feel that they have the right to have money or abundance in their life, that they are not worthy of being successful, um, being like wealthy or having enough money. And there are so many beliefs um, that keep us from bringing this into our lives. And I think most of you that take part of this webinar know already about like the law of attraction. And if we have these beliefs inside us, like the universe can't actually give us abundance, because we have these negative things in us. And that's why it is so important to work on our inner world as well when it comes to abundance. And that's also a part of my work with my clients, that I work on those things. And if you master it, you will climb the ladder all the way up to lightness and the male energy. And then you mastered like most of the journey. The last key I'm showing you in a few seconds. And yeah, it is basically wanted of your soul that you start at the bottom of the female energy, climb all the way up to the male energy, and then find the divine balance. That's totally wanted. But it is important that you climb the ladder all the way up. That's a huge key. So it is essential that you reconnect yourself with abundance. There are ways to bring it back in an even playful way. I will show you how this works later. And now we come to the fourth golden key, and that is the yin and yang balance. And like I already said, during your twin flame journey, you are basically experiencing a constant switch between your two totally different energies inside yourself. The male energy, which stands for your brain, active, going outward, and the female energy, which is basically like the opposite, hard, passive, going inward. And that's like a huge challenge for us human beings to balance out these totally opposite energies inside of ourselves. And on the twin flame journey, it is extremely important that you master this yin yang balance. And that's why the twin flame journey takes most of the time over a few years, because it's just your soul is just not able to learn all those things in like weeks. And it is so important that you learn the yin and yang balance as well, that you balance it out. Why? I explain it to you why. Your twin flame is your closest mirror. And if you still tend to be too much in your female energy in your life, and your twin flame will maybe come back into your life, you start a relationship, and if you are still too much in the female energy and you don't, or you didn't learn to balance it out yet, your twin flame has no other choice than mirroring it to you by being too much in the male energy. That's basically a law. And that's why it's so important that you learn to balance this thing out, and then you have achieved it, and then you actually mastered your total twin flame journey. Yeah, like I said, the universe will only allow you to be with a soulmate of this intensity constantly if you master this yin-yang balance. And this skill can also be trained. That's a thing I also work on with my clients in my sessions, and I have a meditation program coming out in a few weeks where this skill will also be trained. And right now, I explained all these 4 golden keys to you, and you will be able to ask questions if you want to in a few minutes. And now I'll show you a way of really integrating this in your life to basically master your part of this twin flame thing. Nobody on this earth can guarantee you that you will be together with your twin flame. I think twin flames are meant to be together, yes, but there is absolutely no guarantee. And everybody that says that, I don't know if I can take them serious, because sometimes twin flames are 90 years old and they are separated. So it's just not guaranteed, but it's just a great feeling to know that you did your part. And if you did your part and you mastered those 4 golden keys, you will be happy and fulfilled with yourself. The love towards your twin flame will feel free, will feel light, and you will be still wishing for a relationship probably, but you will be able to let go of that wish like immediately and be present in the here and now and feel fulfilled. That's what I can promise, that if you do your part, you feel fulfilled like you never felt before. And like an extremely effective way, let's put it like that, to reach this point is basically to work with me. I work with my clients over Skype all over the world. I have a German website on Twin Flames and an English one, and it's a huge honor and my total passion to work with you guys, because I know what it's like to be in this situation. I know how you feel, but I also know what it takes, and I have major experience through those 1,000+ sessions I gave and those seminars and so on. And for you guys, I have a special offer today, because I'm always happy that you're participating in my webinars. So I also make sure I do a special offer, and you will be able I will display it right now. You will be able to work with me in a one-on-one sessions. In the next 2 weeks, I have a few spots left for a session before I go on my seminar tour. And you will be able to get my brand new meditation program, Twin Flame Essentials, the 4 golden keys to master your path, on top for free. This meditation program will cost 89 euro, and you will get it on top for free. So you save 89 euro. And I was testing this meditation program. These are 4 meditations to every golden key, and the testings were just through the roof. I gave it to my best clients, so to speak, for free, because I wanted to know how they like it, and they just were really, really amazed, and they liked it a lot. And you will be the first, besides those clients, to be able to get those essentials and work with me in a one-on-one sessions. And I right now have this special offer like 10 times. I see 2 already ordered while I speak. So while the webinar is running, you can click the button learn more, and then a new window pops up, and then you can view my work and book your session, and I will reply with to you in a matter of hours, and then we'll schedule the session, and then we will hopefully experience some major progress on your twin flame journey. But I'm totally positive that we'll achieve this. So click on the button learn more, a new window will open up, and then you can book your session. 3 already booked. That's amazing. I'm really looking forward to work with you guys, and we are about to come to the Q&A. You will be able to ask me some questions. Until that, I will show you a little feedback of my work. It's just 3 minutes that you see what my work is about, and see you in 3 minutes, and then we stand by.
Yes, I just want first to thank Julian for his amazing method. I met him last year. We also, at the beginning, yes, I thought that I wanted to help you with your meditation design CD, I remember, but didn't really work. And then, I don't know, it was funny. I really liked the connection, but I didn't work with you like I did last month. And I was following you and also taking part of your webinars. And so I guess the last one I had heard was about the 4 rounds of what is maybe of the rejection with the twin flame, or and I started, okay, I think there is something. I have the feeling it's really important to see in a deeper way. And we talk also, I just ask you, can you help me? Because I tried other twin flame coach, and they told me strange thing, and you know what I'm talking about. So there are some people that are really, yes, they are teacher, but strange, no? So be aware and test them. And we worked on my ones of not being worthy, and because also being worthy for many things and deserve a thing, especially love, deserve love. And I feel that love is it's an energy, and being worthy, it's also a lot connected to money. So I had, after meeting my twin flame, huge trouble with money, lost work, lost job, lost clients, lost my flat, everything. So definitely not being worthy to be on this earth, and was very dramatic because I have children that I have to need to feed, and I didn't add anything. And you were always talking, yes, my method is very effective and very soon, but yes, I thought, yes, he's talking like that, but because I met many that also take a lot of money helping, and nothing really happened because it's something coming from outside and you take it and like a headache, but it's not the cause of the headache, so the headache come again. We work on this thing. It was a very intense session. I still remember the feeling, not the words, but the feeling. And it was amazing because life, it's things I wanted to say, but it's better to say life energy changed overnight. A day after I got a huge job, I also had the contract for teaching again, and it just was stopped since 1 year. And yes, it's flowing, it's working, and I'm so happy because the energy is flowing again. The energy, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. And sometimes I said maybe I should have tried it earlier, but I also think it was the right time. And maybe I had also to have that experience before of not having money and nothing working. And I also tried to follow other twin flame coach. But yes, they were not that effective. Also, I paid money for them, but no, they didn't brought that help that I hoped. And yes, now my life is wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I enjoy it. I'm totally happy. I feel free. So really also this feeling of freedom, financial freedom, energetic freedom, emotional freedom. It's a time I really, really love my twin, but I don't have a need to be with him. It's wonderful if we will be, but I don't have the feeling, oh, I must. And I enjoy my life first. Now I have the feeling, okay, now it's the time for us to have a nice time with myself, and let's see what happens. So this is my life now, and I'm really happy, and I really recommend from the deepest of my heart to work with you. You are very gentle, very down to earth, but gentle, guiding very good, and yes, very structured and holding. It's what's the thing I was feeling in your work. You were holding the energy. What I told you also that I don't want to leave. Don't want to be on this earth, and was good that you were holding energy and not saying, oh God, what is she telling this? And oh no, you have. No, it was okay. I was crying like an idiot, and it was okay. I know that I was safe. I think this was very important. I felt guided, hold, and all is well.
Okay. Thank you for. So great. I'm back again, and now we're going to do a little Q&A, and Andrea wrote, I would like to do a one-on-one session. Yes, you can do that. Just click work with me, learn more with the offer I just showed you, and then we can schedule a session, and there are 6 available units with the special webinar price, where you get the Twin Flame Essentials on top for free. So yeah, I'm looking forward to work with you. Just in case you didn't find the button, I will write my website into the chat. I just wrote the website into the chat, and you can just go over that. And yeah, if you guys have a question on your twin flame journey, just feel free to ask me. And I'm really happy that you liked the webinar so far. And I can just tell you that it's really worth taking this journey and fulfilling those 4 keys on the twin flame journey. You will feel great. Good. I'm just waiting for some questions. Sometimes there's a delay from the time the chat and the video, and yes, if you have further questions, you just can also send me an email. I just type the email into the chat. Good. If you have some questions, just type it in the chat. I know there's always some kind of delay that's not that good, but we'll figure it out. Ranjani writes, "Hi, thanks a lot for the webinar sessions. I'm happy that there are many others so in this path, and I'm not alone. Makes me feel good, and I know that I'm not going crazy." Yes, I totally understand, Ranjani, because I've been there before, and nobody of my friends understood what I was trying to say. They all were trying to say, yeah, forget her, she's not worth it. And they weren't able to understand what I was going through. And then I found this book, and I found some others that had experienced that, and it felt good to talk about this, and yeah, kept me motivated to walk that walk. Jackie writes, why do you think the runner in Twin Flame also very much resembles a narcissist? I think I didn't spoke the word narcissist today, but actually, yeah, sometimes they behave like one, because the wound of betrayal shows up immediately, and their mask is the mask of control. And what then happens is that they shut down their emotional world, and our emotional world is this part of ourselves where we feel the we and not the I. So that's basically, they shut down their empathetic world, and they basically are only in their own world if they put up this mask of control. So yes, many of them actually behave like narcissists. That doesn't mean that they are narcissists, but they behave like that sometimes. Right now, I'm happy again, all of a sudden, after 2 years of desperately craving for him. Am I losing the love? Ranjani, no. As I told you in the 4 keys, the chaser climbs up the ladder towards the male energy. And in that state, it can happen that you like don't think of your twin flame that often for a certain time. And many of their experiences, for example, if they're discover their vision, their goals, and follow them, then they focus more on that and think less of their twin flame. And that's actually a good thing on this journey, because you learn to integrate this male energy, and it's very important to do so. So actually that's a good sign, Ranjani, and it doesn't mean that you lose him at all. Shva's Creations. Should I share this twin flame concepts and spirit with my friends, close ones, or keep it discreet? Um, that's a hot topic. I would actually think twice if I do that, um, and maybe share with those friends that you think are like a little advanced, a little developed, or reflected in life, and have maybe a spiritual side to them, because otherwise it's not worth it. People lose tons of energy by trying to explain it to friends. They just aren't on that same page, you know. So just think twice over it. I wouldn't tell it to everyone. Yeah. Andrea, how can we help our twin flame to see what we see in them? Um, it's not that easy, Andrea. The major key is, how is your twin flame behaving towards you? If you have the feeling he's open, then you can show him things. But if he's shut down and he's rejecting you, he's sometimes they even curse at you. That's what I've heard, and um, betray you, cheat on you. Then it's not. Then you're not supposed to say to talk to them what you see in them. Then it's about your own boundaries. You know, that's the major key, that you show boundaries to your twin flame if he is not behaving how you can handle it. And people misunderstand the word unconditional love, because it starts with self-love. And if your twin flame doesn't treat you the way you think you should be treated because of your self-esteem, you will always still love him, but you don't want him in your life if you're getting cheated on, lied on, and so on, you know? Mara writes, will the runner twin flame ever understand this concept of twin flames? In my experience, yes, but if he is in his own process and still dealing with his emotions and trying to let them in and so on, and struggling, it's not a good idea to tell him about this twin flame concept, because he won't understand, he won't let it in, he's just not ready. Towards the end, or at the end of their journey, they are ready for knowing this concept. But when they are in the middle of their journey, they won't really understand. They don't want to know about it, you know. Ranjani, do you think the runner will ever feel that kind of a passionate and crazy love that the chaser feels for them? Like, you know, the feeling can ever love without them type of feeling. Do they ever experience this at all? It feels unfair. Only we, the chasers, feel this. Yes, it feels unfair, but the thing is, the chaser starts at the bottom, climbs his way all the way up to the top, in towards lightness and happiness. And with the runner, it's the opposite. He starts at the top, total male energy, 24/7, just hiding everything, suppressing the emotions, and then, but only if you take on your own journey as the chaser, it will influence the runner, because he will lose more and more energy to fight against his feelings, and they will just roll over him at a certain point. So he has an idea of this deep love. He has an idea, but he just doesn't want to actually feel it. He only has the idea of it. And like I said, at the end of the journey, it will just roll over him. And with him, it's basically like with a volcano. Like it's just building up on the inside, and you don't see anything from the outside, and then it just explodes. And that's the case with the runner. Um, Everything seems to be normal in his life. He just wears this mask of perfection. I'm doing great. Everything's fine. And then boom, all of a sudden, totally different story, and it explodes. So that's his journey. Yeah. Should I tell him we are twin flames? If yes, how? He says he isn't very spiritual. Um, like I said, I wouldn't tell him about this concept if he's still in this um, state of struggling with his emotions. And for the chaser, if you really are honest to yourself, really, really honest, a part of yourself is trying to explain the twin flame concept to him to bring him back to you. And that won't work out if you didn't master your journey yet. You know what I mean? So the best thing you can do is always look to yourself, to your own tasks at hand. That's the best thing you can do. Work on yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Good. Michelle, how do you know when they're ready to understand the concept? Are there signs? And when he starts to realize, will it be painful? Will it be painful, more painful for the chaser? Well, when they are still on their journey to let emotions in, often they still are only ready for like small talk. You know what I mean? You can't go deep with them. You can't talk over emotions with them. And if you sense that, it's not a good idea to talk over twin flames. And if you have the feeling they are opening up again, they talk about relationship with you, they talk about love, you know, then you can slowly maybe talk to them about it. But I mean, if he's committed to the love and you end up in a relationship, mm, why is it so important to tell him about this concept? You know what I mean? Um, Many try to explain the concept to their runner because they try to convince him of this love, and that's done out of fear, and there won't be a positive outcome then. You know what I mean? Andrea, how can I help my twin flame with his childhood wounds? Wouldn't do a therapist a better job? First of all, you help him when you heal your own stuff. That's a great thing to do because he's your mirror, and if you heal yourself, you heal him. That's the one thing. And if he's committed and opening up to you and talking about his wounds, you can try to help with talking, but yeah, it would be a better job if a therapist does it, because like if I give the example of myself, I have really great techniques that help people to experience great progress in a small amount of time, because I work with energetic psychology, and it allows me to really transform those suppressed emotions in a really fast time, you know. And that's why a therapist would be like better, but only if he's open to it. If you try to convince him of this and he doesn't want to reflect, then he will probably reject you, you know, because it's too heavy for him. Ranjani writes, I have been blocked by my twin for the last 2 years, and he's from another continent. Do you think he still remembers me? And if he comes back to me now, am I supposed to welcome him with open arms or really show how hurt I was? I'm scared that my response can cause him to go running again. Well, here are your boundaries coming into play. Because if he was behaving in a hurtful way and you are actually hurt, then you are always allowed to speak it out loud that you were hurt, because a human being that loves you or you are important to will always understand and listen to you, and then maybe say, okay, oh, I heard you, I didn't meant to, and I was just so busy, and so on. So if a connection is strong, you are always allowed to say that you're hurt. And it's not a good idea to really open up too fast if there's a history of being hurt, you know? You should be a little distant at first, just to see, okay, what does he want? On what kind of level is he talking to me? Is he like on a friendship level talking to me, or is he interested in more? And then you can open up. Like at first, I would recommend to have your healthy boundaries, your healthy guard up. Is it an ascension or waking process for him? Yes, he has a heart problem, and like injuries and so on, diseases are always a sign of the soul, you know. And I think it's like a wake-up call for him to see what's underneath this symptom. Mara writes, I'm mind-blowing to see so many of us are literally experiencing the exact same thing. Yes, Mara, that's amazing. And yeah, you would be amazed when I would tell you about all my sessions I did in the last years, because it's basically every time the same dynamic. And that's why to me it's so obvious and so easy to master it, because I have this experience. And that's why I do this work here, because I want to show people how easy it can be if you follow those steps, those keys. And yes, I agree, Mara. Ranjani writes, thank you for everything. Yes, you're welcome. And thank you all for this great webinar. I will be happy to have you here again. Watch out for my next one. And if you want to work with me, you still see the offer. You can click learn more, and then we schedule a session. There are still 4 available units of my special webinar offer. And I would be really happy to work with you, guide you through those next steps on your journey, and then you will be like a master on your twin flame path. So thank you all, and I'm writing my website again into the chat. You can go there after the webinar, look around, see the videos, see the podcast, see everything. And it was really great. I enjoyed the time with you, and see you in the next webinar. Bye.